I'm not looking for pity. I just need someone to confirm I haven't lost my mind. I've considered every logical explanation. Sleep deprivation, toxic fumes, dehydration, but nothing explains what happened. I know what we encountered in that forgotten quarry. I know what sounds reached our ears, and most importantly, what chilled us to our cores. Call me delusional if you must. Just don't claim it wasn't genuine. It was my friend Maya's suggestion. She's always been the daredevil. Abandoned building exploration, unmarked trails, midnight scuba. I'm usually the voice of reason, but this time, something about how she described the abandoned mine stirred my curiosity. It's not even documented in any records, she'd mentioned. Someone on a spelunking forum posted the location before their profile disappeared. Said the echoes sounded wrong down there. I should have declined. We departed at dawn. Just 2 day packs, helmet lights, backup batteries, and a guideline. No phone reception where we were heading. The mine entrance was barely visible, more of a crack in the rock face than a proper opening. You had to edge in sideways between granite slabs to reach the first chamber. The interior was unnaturally cold, stagnant air as if sealed for centuries. Maya joked about forgotten burial sites. I remained silent. The walls had an unusual texture, almost clammy, like perspiration rather than groundwater. The stone appeared strange too. It was marked with thin, deep scratches, irregular in their arrangement. Not tool marks, not natural weathering. They seemed intentional. We ventured deeper. Daylight had long vanished, leaving only the narrow beams from our helmet lights. The passage constricted, then expanded into a vast chamber. I remember thinking the height seemed impossible given our descent, as if we'd entered a space that defied physical laws. Maya moved ahead, examining the walls. That's when we discovered it. A collection of bones bound with what appeared to be human hair, suspended from the ceiling by a crude strand of sinew. No inscriptions, no symbols, just an assemblage of bones, gently swaying. I whispered, "Maya, I don't think this place is abandoned." She didn't immediately answer. When she finally spoke, her voice sounded distant. This wasn't in the images. Images? She hadn't mentioned photographs before. I didn't inquire. I was too distracted by the odor that suddenly permeated the air, like decomposition, but with a sickly sweetness. That's when I heard it. Something scraping against stone. Neither close nor distant. Somewhere within that vast, impossible chamber with us. I turned, and briefly thought I glimpsed movement. Elongated and thin, almost as if a shadow had peeled itself from the wall and slipped away. Maya was already retreating. Her face had blanched beneath the helmet light's glow. I grasped her arm and whispered, "We need to leave. Now." She didn't protest. We turned back, retracing our path, but the tunnel looked different. The scratches in the walls were deeper now, fresher, some still glistening. Maya began muttering. I tracked it. I counted each turn. I swear I did. I told her to keep moving, maintain hold of the guideline. But when I reached for it, there was nothing. The line had vanished. Just a cleanly severed end remained. Something had taken it, and it wasn't finished with us. Maya was unraveling. Her breathing became rapid and shallow, clouding her helmet light. I gripped her shoulders, more to steady myself than her. "Listen," I said, quietly but firmly. "We need to stay calm. You tracked the turns, right? So think. What comes next?" She shook her head, eyes wide. "I don't know. I did count them, I swear, 3 right, 2 left, downward slope. But this isn't our entry point." I glanced around. The stone felt somehow more confining, more hostile. The air had thickened, as if the mine was slowly exhaling and we were inhaling its decay. That smell was stronger now, congealed, unnaturally sweet. I listened. There, beneath Maya's panicked breathing. Breathing, not hers, not mine. Something deep, rhythmic. A slow draw in and out, not from any specific direction, just surrounding us, as if within the walls, or beneath them. I quieted her and extended my hand. She fell silent. We both heard it then. Not a rumble, not a hiss, just breath, like lungs spanning the chamber, expanding in rhythm with our fear. I surveyed the area. There, look, I whispered. About 3 meters up, there was a narrow ledge, natural rock, sloped inward like a rim above the tunnel opening. If we could reach it, perhaps we'd gain a better perspective of our surroundings, or at least feel less exposed from all sides. I helped Maya climb first, supporting her from below. Her boots scraped loose gravel, and I winced at each sound. My ascent proved more difficult. My fingers trembled against the jagged stone, my legs aching from tension and cold, but I managed. The ledge afforded enough space to crouch. Our lights reached farther from this elevation. That's when I saw it, a figure just beyond our light beams. It was unnaturally tall. That was my initial impression. Not human proportions, like someone had been vertically stretched, limbs elongated, joints angular, frame so emaciated the ribs nearly punctured the skin. His back was turned. Pale, scabbed flesh stretched taut across its skeletal form. His head brushed the ceiling, and it was listening. One elongated arm extended to touch the wall, claw-like fingertips dragging across the surface gently, as if sensing vibrations through the stone. My breath caught. It froze. No sound. No movement. Then its head twisted, not turned, twisted, the neck bending unnaturally, until one hollow, pupil-less socket faced our direction. It didn't blink. It didn't shift. Maya made a sound, something between a whimper and a stifled gasp, and I covered her mouth just in time. The creature tilted its head. Its other hand flexed. Claws like carved bones scraped together. Click, click, click. Then it receded into darkness. Not walking, dissolving. Its movement felt fundamentally wrong, as if gravity affected it differently. I didn't realize tears were streaming until I tasted salt. We remained motionless for what seemed an eternity, perhaps minutes. Time felt meaningless down there. Maya finally leaned close, her voice barely audible. I don't think we discovered the mine. I think it wanted us to find it. The thought didn't seem paranoid. Felt true. The walls were scored. The air was stagnant. The bones were arranged. This wasn't some forgotten excavation. It was a snare, baited with something only the reckless or inquisitive would pursue. I retrieved the emergency flashlight and assessed our supplies. Still had a flare, half-empty water bottle, no guideline, one utility knife. We couldn't remain. Whatever that entity was, it was now aware. We had to move. I began descending when I noticed something peculiar in the rock below. Fine lines in the stone that appeared too systematic, almost like writing. Not English, nothing familiar. Dozens of tiny engravings etched into the ledge just beneath our position, each identical to the last. Maya noticed them too. That resembles the markings near the... She stopped mid-sentence. Near the bone bundle. We both recognized it. Below us, the breathing resumed. But now it wasn't steady. It was eager. I instructed Maya to stay. Don't move. Don't make a sound. Don't use your light unless you hear me call. She didn't object, just nodded with that vacant, hunted expression. Her hands gripped the stone until her knuckles whitened. I descended from the ledge and entered a corridor on the far side, one previously unnoticed. Felt older than the rest. The walls here were darker, as if the stone itself had been charred, not by flame, by antiquity, or something more ancient than time itself. My boots crushed something brittle underfoot. I refused to look down. The deeper I ventured, the warmer it became. Not physically. That's not quite right. It was as if the space retained the memory of heat. A stale, decaying warmth that clung to your skin like oil. I rounded a corner and discovered another chamber. This one smaller, oval-shaped. The walls weren't natural stone anymore. They were carved into reliefs. Figures I couldn't identify, arranged in circles, each with their heads inclined toward the center. In the middle of the room was a shaft. I couldn't determine its depth. My light failed to illuminate the bottom, but I could hear it. Something moving down there. Slow, wet, rhythmic. The sound didn't echo. I retreated before whatever lurked below detected my presence. When I returned to the ledge, Maya was gone. No blood, no signs of struggle, no trail, simply vanished. Except there was a new bone bundle, hanging from the rock just below our previous position. Fresh, not skeletal, not cleaned. Something wet still adhered to the cord binding it together. I didn't scream. I didn't sob. Couldn't. My body seized. My mind flooded with one thought repeating endlessly. Took her. My flashlight flickered. Not extinguished, just dimmed. Like a fading memory when something more primal surfaces. I ran. I don't recall the route I took, only that the mind shifted around me. The same passage split and doubled back. I saw my own footprints repeatedly, and then I didn't. No footprints, no dust, just smooth stone as if nothing and no one had ever traversed that path. When I finally collapsed, I was gazing up at a sliver of sky. Early morning light filtered through an opening barely large enough to crawl through. Roots dangled like fingers. I dragged myself out with my remaining strength. I don't remember returning to the vehicle or driving home. I regained consciousness in my apartment 2 days later, dehydrated and lacerated. Maya's belongings remained in the trunk. She's never been reported missing. No documentation, no digital presence. It's as if she ceased to exist the moment we entered that place. Except, yesterday, something was slipped beneath my door. A strip of pale leather, wrapped around a lock of hair. Maya's. I recognized the braid. Markings were burned into the leather, identical to the engravings in that mine. I've spent hours attempting to match them to existing scripts, ancient alphabets, tribal markings, forgotten languages. Nothing corresponds exactly, but one symbol recurs. It resembles a figure arched backward over a circle of thorns, sometimes depicted with antlers, sometimes faceless, sometimes appearing to smile. I'm not sharing this for attention. I'm indifferent to whether anyone believes me. I'm sharing because I discovered something else burned into the leather's interior. Not in ancient script. In English. 5 words. You were meant to witness. I haven't rested since, and I question whether I should. Because occasionally, just before sunrise, I hear breathing in the walls.